Welcome to the Healers Café, conversations on health and healing with Dr. Manon.
So, welcome to the Healers Café, and today I have Pantea Kalhor, and she is a PTSD and cognitive behavioral therapist coach. She's also a project manager and helps women with fertility issues and those who suffer from PTSD after recurring miscarriages to harmonize their mind and body to conceive naturally at all ages by following a multi-formula approach. As a background, she's a software engineer, her Master of Information Technology, and is a project management professional. She's also a certified software engineer. And apart from her IT degrees, she is a certified coach, PTSD and cognitive behavioral therapist coach, a certification in teaching and training adults. So welcome, Pantea.
Thank you so
So
much.
let me ask you, we'll start this. What led you from one field, IT engineering, into PTSD and helping women and couples actually with fertility issues?
Yes. Um, Actually, it's a really great question. I was hit by PTSD 2 times and I was not aware of it. The first time was when somebody threw me out of my car, robbed my car, and threatened me with a knife point. And after that time, I was really depressed. I couldn't recover for some time because I had some back injury and it took me some time to get over. And when even my physical body was healed, still I had some nightmares following me. Somebody gonna kill me, somebody threatened me. And then when I started changing my perspective and doing some change in my whole life, everything changed. And I just realized there are some solution to your PTSD and you can recover from it if you don't let yourself to go there deeply. And the second time was when I was struggling with fertility when I was over 40. And the doctor said, oh, there is a very slim chance of being fertile. But I was very healthy and I used to be very fit. I took care of myself and I didn't know why this happened to me. And then after 2 years of struggling, going to fertility clinics, go there and back, I was really thought that I have to change something again. So I shouldn't go there again. I shouldn't go deeply there. So what I did, I tried to quit all the treatment because I knew there is something wrong. There is a missing puzzle that I have to find. So I quit there, and 1 month later, I got pregnant naturally, and I had my healthy baby girl. Then I started this podcast and interviews with other specialists and other fertility coaches because I started writing a book about the fertility and how you can reframe your mind and body and unleash your power of productivity in yourself. And I realized during this time talking to different specialists, especially psychologists, holistic medicine practitioners, traditional Chinese medicine, and acupuncturists, so many people. And then I realized there are lots of things should be placed even in Western medicine. Something is not right because everybody go through a struggling with this fertility stuff, and they don't know. They have to change something inside, and they have to change the routine going and getting back there. I saw that there are some underlying issues that should be recovered, and some diagnoses cannot be happen in your Western medicine diagnosis. Let's say when I started going to fertility centers, they just try to look at you as a reproductive machine, but they never go and check your liver, or they never go and check your gut,
Well, yeah.
But they may have some issues there, and that's so interesting. I got it. When you have issues in these parts of your body, your reproductive function may not work. So that was so interesting for me. So I think right now in fertility centers, they have to change something. They have to have full diagnosis instead of just reproductive functions. And this is gonna help a lot of women. And it's not only your body. If your mind is not ready, and if you are not in that reproduction level, which I explain it in my book also, you cannot get conceived. Let's say if you are very desperate, if you are not happy, if your body is not happy, your baby is not gonna happy to come out. Yeah, that's why I just changed my mission. I just think that this is my mission. I need to help women who have the same issues and are struggling with the same thing.
Well, I love what you're sharing, and it's actually very concurrent with what I've seen in my medical practice as well, because many couples come in, they've done all kinds of things, trying for 3 years, 5 years. They're so sick and tired of trying, that they're almost not in love. Some of them, they're almost fighting or looking at the calendar, or and it's very, very challenging. And I think what most people don't realize about the whole fertility issue is that if you're in constant stress mode, your body just doesn't function as well as it should. Your hormones don't kick in, your whole body doesn't work as well as it should. So I love what you're saying, and I think it's the same problem in general about this single approach to body parts that is so typical of conventional medicine.
And then something in my practice I realized, and this is unique to me, that during those time frame, I try to do some creative stuff. I went to a concert and actually was one of the performer playing violin, and I always afraid to be on the stage. And something broke in me after performing the piece in front of a large audience. And other thing that I published my book, and I had another book to publish, Rules of Change for the Better, and it became bestseller. So these kind of things help me to find myself, and reproduction means producing something. When you are desperate, you're not producing. You are just trying to solve your, you go deeply in your desperate mode. You don't do anything, no activity or no useful action. But when you are in production level, you are happier, you are doing something out of your comfort zone, and that things suddenly happen in you. Reproduction, the power gonna be awakened inside you.
Yeah, it's funny because you point out too, it's almost like you're focused on a larger version of yourself, which is all of that, stretching, getting out of your comfort zone, and all that. And it's funny when people, it's different, the point, but close. When people decide to go for adoption, they feel like, okay, that's it. They don't need to try anymore. They're going to have that's when they get pregnant, you know. And it's not the same phenomena, but the idea is that you can't have this stressful, anxious intent, because the body must be relaxed, right? The mind must be occupied.
You know, about adoption, I have two stories to tell you, two real stories. The people I knew, they went for adoption because they totally gave up on their fertility. And they started loving the baby they adopt. And what happened, because they already practiced being a parent, parenting for them was part of their life. So it was normal for them to be a parent. After sometimes they got pregnant. And they have their own baby. I've seen this few times. And I think, again, in my practice, I totally believe in it. Can you hear me? Yeah. I thought you were disconnected. So I have clients that they couldn't get pregnant for a few years. They got married when they were in 20s. They said, okay, it's still so early, we're gonna wait till we are getting older. And when they are getting older, they couldn't try. I mean, they had lots of ups and downs. And finally, at age of 47, she got pregnant. And I was really surprised because, again, what happened in her life, her sister got pregnant, and she needed her help to be there. And my client went there and took care of her baby. And it looked like she was practicing to be a mom. So being a mom was not a big deal for them. Right. And for her. And finally, again, she got pregnant after a year of seeing that baby. So I believe when you make everything very big, it's so difficult, it's not accessible, it's very out of my dream, I'm not deserved to be a mom, these kind of limited beliefs always hold you back from being a mother. Or body or nature as a female is designed to be a mother. So if there is a blocker there, it means something in your body is not right and you need to resolve it. And it's not only you and your special, it's not only your specialist, you have to do it in yourself. Because no matter which specialist you go, if you don't believe it, you don't feel that you don't deserve it, it's not going to happen to you. You go from this one to another one desperately, and nothing going to change inside.
Yeah. That's interesting. The other thing I've seen in my practice along the same lines as you're saying about the attitude is people trying to save their relationship by having children. And it's like the focus is in the wrong place. And I've seen that if I don't do deeper work to get to the root of that, you know, maybe having a child isn't the right solution in this case, right? But it can be that they say that they've tried and it's not working, but it's because they're not fully aligned with it. Have you seen that?
Yes, I love this. Actually, what you say, that's a great point, because you cannot save your marriage only by having a baby. Because what happened, first of all, again, you are in desperate mode. You want to be released from desperate mode for having a baby, but still you are in desperate mode because you hold on your partner to just don't let her go, don't let him go. And then you don't go out of this desperate mode. By this time, you are not in that production level to save your marriage. And at the other step, at the other level, when you have your baby, the relationship is a bit changing, because a mother has lots of responsibilities. You don't need, you can't be for yourself. You have to stay awake during the night. You're tired, so you have to change the baby. So many things that you never done before. So the relationship is gonna be a little bit different. And if they are not supporting and they are not trying to save each other, then even having a baby is not going to save them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm just curious how, because again, in my work, I also have what I call couples that become pregnant. They're
Yes.
Bowen babies is what I call them. So I do a therapy that's called Bowen therapy. And I've had clients that have tried many things and it hasn't worked. And I agree, psychology and the understanding and all of that is very important. But I have found that sometimes it's structural. And this sounds very strange because I've not had it, I've not really had any other medical professionals saying, yes, that's the case. I have also not researched this further, but I have many clients that after doing the work, putting their whole body in parasympathetic and making sure that their vertebral column is freed, especially their tailbone. Hi, it's Dr. Manon, and I just wanted to take a moment, commercial break, to ask you to subscribe to my podcast and kindly leave a comment if you're enjoying this. And also, just to let you know, I have tips for people in health looking for solutions to just a variety of issues. It's more like an attitude of health. And they're entertaining short videos, and you can find those under drmanonbolliger.com/tip. The link is here, and I look forward to hearing from you. And their TMJ that is properly aligned, then they will become pregnant. And it's
what is
more.
TMJ? I don't know.
Temporomandibular joint. It's the joint, the big joint of, when we give birth, it's the one we want to relax. Yeah. And it's fascinating. I mean, I always work with the whole person. So and again, that's for the psychology of it. I don't say, okay, off we go, we're going to do this and you'll get pregnant, because that's the wrong way of doing it. I always say, well, let's get rid of all of your problems, whether it's a shoulder issue, low back, because if you have a baby, you're going to have to carry this baby. So I always focus outside of the imminent big desire to get pregnant. And then I make sure that everything else works. And they've, like, it's amazing how many couples have gotten pregnant this way. So it's, I was just wondering if you have come across, interviewing all these experts, anyone who saw the connection between the structure, the physicality of the body and pregnancy.
What did you say? Sorry.
Like between the
I thought you were talking about your own practice.
No, I am, but I was wondering, because you've interviewed different people.
Yes.
In your own search and in your own wanting to understand more. Have you come across any other experts that have talked about the connection to the body, the physicality of it, the structure of it?
Yes, actually, if I understand your question, I talk to so many fertility coaches and also even medical doctors and people who already struggle with fertility and got rid of it, and then they got their baby. Yes, their physical. One of them that I interviewed yesterday, she said I had other underlying issue like gut problem. Mm-hmm. And then when I remove that problem, I got pregnant. Another one had thyroid issue. Another one had, yes, there are some other physical problems that is related, is not directly related to fertility, but it is related to body, because the body should be happy and healthy as a whole picture. I'm not saying not everybody gets pregnant. I'm not saying everybody cannot get pregnant if they are not 100% healthy, but at least the connections should work. Your hormones is not only your fertility hormones, other hormones should be aligned with your body and should work together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in whether it's in chiropractic or many body works or osteopathy or bone therapy, we often say that structure governs function. So if there's an alignment in the spine, or if the fascia, which is what surrounds all our organs, and it's its own nervous system, if all of that is freed, then we work more optimally, right? So it's beyond looking at it from a organ like the gut or the liver, or making hormones. It's also the way that the spine sits and the way that our vagus nerve, this sympathetic, parasympathetic, are firing. And the reason I ask this is because you have also experienced PTSD. So I wanted to understand kind of where what is your experience with that? How does that fit in to infertility issues? Or is it that after infertility and trying so many times, you basically have PTSD because you're suffering so much from not? So if you could expand on that, I would be very interested.
Actually, I didn't let myself to go very deeply on it, because the second time when I realized that I'm going to so much pain and depression, I didn't want to go there. So I get rid of it very soon, because I had a formula before when I had PTSD and injuries and too much nightmares. When I get rid of it, I knew if I follow that formula, my body is going to be ready again. So what I did, I tried to do some, as I said, creative and productive jobs. And I did some traveling, and I just said, okay, I accept myself the way I am, no matter if I'm mother or not. And then I started visualizing very heavily. So I actually knew that a baby is gonna sleep on my arms, and I could hear her heartbeat, because I also had 2 miscarriages. And miscarriage is so painful, especially when you have pains. And the second miscarriage I had, it was very near to death. I had a very difficult and near to death miscarriage. And for the second one, that was so painful because I couldn't hear my baby heartbeat. From the beginning I could, and then I couldn't. It means it was miscarried, and this is so painful. I understand women with these problems. That's why I know emotions, I know PTSD, depression, all of them can help to not letting you to be a mother. But we shouldn't go there. We shouldn't let ourselves to be there. So it didn't, for the second time when I was having fertility issues, I never say infertility. I don't like this term. I always say fertility issues, because problems can be solved.
Right.
So issues have, because as a mathematician, I am engineer. So I knew that all the problems have some solution, So many women can be fertile, but unfortunately they go to the loop of this depression, distress, and then they even don't know what is inside, and they should resolve that. But the good thing about here, why they get pregnant after they let it go. I've heard about it so many times. They just, we don't want to go there. We just want to have our normal life, because you let your body to be normal again. When you push your body to get pregnant, and you don't enjoy being with your partner, you don't enjoy your life, you just push. Even you plan for your pregnancy, which is not a bad thing, but if you do it so many times and you don't enjoy your sex life, then what's the point? You know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's like you're saying, it's a constant stressor instead of
Exactly.
enjoyment. And if you're in stress, your body doesn't function.
So you push your body to do this, and then your body doesn't want to, because the body is not happy. And as soon as you let it go, the body start thinking. The body has its own timing,
Yeah.
and at the right times it's gonna happen if you let it go. So it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So you have a new book coming out, right? Do you have a copy of that that you can
Oh
show?
yeah. Actually, yes. This book, this book is so valuable for me. It's so interesting. Why? Because for my first book, Rules of Change for the Better, I was only me to write the book about my personal stories, experiences, and how to change your life. But the second book, when I started writing this book, my journey started, because I didn't want to be alone in this journey. I wanted to have more fertility specialists, experts, gynecologists. I wanted to have psychologists, traditional Chinese medicine, holistic. I have combination of top people in this interview and podcast that I had, and I planned for my book. And the interesting thing, miraculously, I found a very nice network, and I could connect to these nice people. They are bright, resourceful, and very intelligent women in this podcast. And I'm so grateful to have them. And this book is a combination of my experiences as a PTSD CBT coach and a fertility warrior, and a collection of those interviews and experiences that I got from fertility experts and traditional medicine and holistic medicine.
That sounds
Yeah,
like a
the book is
great
gonna
resource.
be.
Yeah.
I don't know when this interview gonna be live. When are we going to be
I'm
live?
not sure. I'm not sure either. I have to get my schedule, but when is your book coming out?
Yeah, my book is gonna be on pre-order status from tomorrow, and it is gonna be published in December 7th. On December 7th, 2020, is gonna be published.
Okay.
On the day of publish, I will have or the week of publish. Usually I put 1 week for the publish, and I stress on one day, but I have an open date. On the day of publish, mostly, I have a virtual summit, and I'm gonna invite all of the experts inside the book to be there. And also there are people who's gonna buy the book and read the book, gonna have this experience to listen to these bright women. And this is gonna be a great experience to learn and ask questions, to be on the live summit. So I'm planning for this. My podcast and interviews is still going. So this is gonna be ongoing process for fertility and podcasts. I have a Facebook page, which also they can go there. I mean, any women with fertility issues, especially over 40, they can go there and they can use these podcast interviews and they can be connected. And I just want to show them that they are not alone in this journey.
Right.
We are all together. And this is going to be a very happy and joyful journey for all of them.
Well, I love your message. And what a great idea to create, the support community as well around your interviews of experts, and then package it in a book as well. So it's a great way of spreading the encouragement and the hope that you are doing. And congratulations also on your own success in having a child as well as the rest, of course. But that's wonderful. So our time is up. Is there any last words you wanted to share?
Yes, I just want to say that if you are struggling with fertility issues, if you are stuck in vicious cycle of miscarriages, if you think that your time is up and your clock is ticking, I have a very good news for you. You can start over. You can be stronger, more decisive, and more productive. And you're not going to be alone in this journey. That's why I created this book and this community, because this book is not only my words, it's top fertility experts and specialists' words. And this is a bridge between holistic medicine and Western medicine, psychology, and anything that can help you to stand and enjoy your journey.
Well, thanks very much.
Thank you for joining us at the Healers Café with Dr. Manon. For more information, go to drmanonbolliger.com.